All right, so today we're going to be diving into something kind of, I don't know, juicy.
Oh.
Yeah, the world of on-set intimacy,
Yeah.
but specifically the surprisingly playful side of it.
Okay.
So think about this. You're Harris Dickinson,
Hmm.
young actor,
Yeah.
and you're about to film a scene with Nicole Kidman
Oh, wow.
in their new film, Babygirl.
Yeah.
Intimidating, right.
Oh, for sure.
But Dickinson's telling E! News that it was actually a super comfortable experience,
Interesting.
thanks to Kidman's approach on set.
That's really interesting because it really challenges kind of what we think about when we think about these scenes.
Right.
I always think about like tension and awkwardness.
For sure.
But what if it's really like playfulness that's the secret ingredient to like
Yeah.
a really good intimate scene?
Yeah, and Dickinson really raves about Kidman in this article.
Okay.
He calls her the most comforting, warm performer to work across from.
Wow.
And he highlights her innate sense of playfulness
I like that.
on set. And what I think is so fascinating about that is
Yeah.
it's not just about making people feel comfortable, you know?
Yeah.
It's probably a really good acting technique.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because think about it when you're playful.
Uh.
It just lowers your defenses.
Yeah.
It helps you connect with people.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you see improv actors
Yeah.
and they use that yes and
Totally.
to just kind of build on each other's ideas.
Yeah.
You can use that same principle to build chemistry,
Yeah.
even in a scene like that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Nicole Kidman,
Yeah.
who we know for being this very intense actor,
Yeah.
using playfulness to create this comfortable atmosphere.
Right.
But then there's this other element that Dickinson mentions,
Yeah.
an intimacy coordinator.
Ah.
So for those of us who aren't, in the biz,
Yeah.
what exactly does an intimacy coordinator do?
So that's a great question.
Yeah.
Intimacy coordinators are basically like choreographers
Okay.
for intimate scenes.
I see.
So they work really closely with the actors and the director
Hmm.
to make sure that everybody feels safe and respected,
Yeah.
comfortable with whatever they're planning to do.
Okay.
It's a relatively new role
Okay.
in the industry,
Okay.
but it's becoming like vital,
Gotcha.
really important.
Yeah, and Dickinson even mentions how the coordinator on Babygirl
Yeah.
helped them to kind of set boundaries by filming.
For sure.
Figure out what they were both comfortable with.
Absolutely.
So this isn't just about avoiding awkwardness.
Right.
It's really about consent and safety.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, we're talking about simulated intimacy,
Right.
which can be incredibly vulnerable for
Yeah.
actors.
Absolutely.
So the intimacy coordinator is really there as an advocate
Uh-huh.
to make sure everyone's boundaries are respected
Right.
and that these scenes are approached really carefully
Yeah.
and professionally.
This makes me think about Nicole Kidman's past roles,
Okay.
specifically Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise.
It's in
Oh, yeah.
a film known for its
Yeah.
intense eroticism.
Right.
It was directed by Stanley Kubrick back in 1999.
Yeah.
And Kidman actually commented to the LA Times about Kubrick's unique directing style.
Oh, wow.
And she mentioned how differently he interacted with male and female actors.
That's really interesting.
Yep.
I mean, Kubrick was such a visionary filmmaker,
Yeah,
but it was a very different time.
totally.
And, people weren't as aware
Right.
of the dynamics on set.
For sure. And all of this context makes Dickinson's praise for Kidman even more striking.
Yeah.
In a Variety interview, he talks about her fearlessness as an actor,
Okay.
saying, she's so brave and she does stuff. And you're like, what the FK is that? You can't even think of it.
Wow.
It seems like she's pushing these boundaries, but within this safe and collaborative environment.
That's a really interesting paradox, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, to be really creative
Yeah.
and to take risks
Yeah.
and be vulnerable,
Yeah.
you really need that foundation.
Of safety and trust.
Absolutely.
Makes you wonder,
Yeah.
could this be the key
Mm.
to unlocking more creativity
Yeah.
and innovative work
Yeah.
in any field?
Totally. Like, imagine bringing that same level of trust and playfulness
Yeah.
to brainstorming sessions at work
Right.
or tackling a tough project.
It could be revolutionary.
Totally.
Yeah, it goes back to that idea of psychological safety
Uh-huh.
that we hear so much about
Right.
in like leadership
Yeah.
and team dynamics.
Yeah.
When people feel safe to take risks,
Yeah.
to voice their ideas
Uh-huh.
without fear of judgment,
Right.
that's when you see the true innovation happen.
So it's not just about feeling comfortable.
Right.
It's about feeling empowered to
Existent.
really contribute.
Yeah.
Knowing your voice matters.
Yeah. And I think even the presence of an intimacy coordinator,
Right.
even in a totally different context,
Uh-huh.
speaks
Uh-huh.
to how important it is
Yeah.
to establish clear boundaries and expectations up front.
Totally.
It creates that framework for everyone to
Yeah.
operate within,
Uh-huh.
knowing that they're protected and respected.
It's almost like having a set of rules
Yeah,
of the game
exactly.
so that everybody can focus on, playing their best without
Yes.
worrying about stepping on toes, crossing the line.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And just like in a game,
Uh-huh.
there's room for both,
Yeah.
strategy
Yeah.
and spontaneity.
Yeah.
You can plan, but also be open
Totally.
to improv, to those unexpected moments that come from real collaboration.
And that's where the playfulness comes in.
Right.
Right? It allows for that flexibility,
Yeah,
the willingness to experiment,
Yeah.
try new things
exactly.
without fear of failure.
It's about shifting our mindset
Yeah.
from one of fear,
Yeah.
self-protection,
Uh-huh.
to one of curiosity
Yeah.
and exploration.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's something we can all cultivate no
Right.
matter what we do
Totally.
or how
Yeah.
experienced we are.
It makes you wonder how much potential is out there,
Yeah.
stifled by environments
Right.
that just lack that sense of safety and play.
Yeah.
Like, imagine what we could achieve
Right.
if we all felt empowered
Yeah.
to bring our full selves to the table,
Exactly.
to experiment,
Right.
to play,
Yeah. Yeah.
to create without holding back.
It's a really powerful thought.
Yeah.
And it all starts with recognizing the power
Uh-huh.
of those seemingly small intangible things.
Yeah.
Trust,
Yeah.
respect,
Uh-huh.
playfulness.
Yeah.
Those are the building blocks of a
Mhm.
truly creative,
Yeah.
collaborative culture.
Right.
Whether it's, on a film set,
Uh-huh.
in a boardroom,
Yeah.
even in our own personal lives.
Yeah. It really does highlight how those soft skills
Uh-huh.
are really crucial for success in pretty much any field.
Absolutely. And it's not just about, achieving success. It's
Right.
about making it a good experience
Yeah.
for everyone involved.
It's funny. We started this whole deep dive talking about Nicole Kidman,
Yeah.
intimate scenes.
Right.
And now we're talking about unlocking potential revolutionizing workplaces.
That's what I love about these deep dives.
Right.
We start with one thing and we end up
Yeah.
uncovering all these truths
Yeah.
about human connection and creativity.
So what's the takeaway for our listeners today?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. What can they do with this?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to just pay attention to the energy that you're bringing to your interactions.
Yeah.
Are you approaching things with playfulness and openness?
Right. Are you creating space for people to contribute?
Exactly. Yeah.
And if they're not,
Yeah.
what's one small step
Oh, good question.
they can take to shift that?
Just notice your own default mode.
Like when someone brings you an idea,
Yeah.
do you shut it down immediately?
Yeah.
Or are you willing to hear them out,
Right.
even if it sounds a little crazy?
So it's choosing to say yes and
Exactly.
instead of no but.
There you go.
And you don't have to be a leader
Yeah.
to do this.
You can bring that energy
Yeah.
to any interaction.
Totally. Colleagues, friends, family.
It doesn't matter.
It's a reminder that we all have the power
Uh-huh.
to create these safe spaces
Yeah.
where creativity and connection can flourish.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So to wrap up this deep dive today,
Yes.
let's raise a glass
Okay.
to playfulness, vulnerability,
Yes.
and to creating safe spaces
Yes.
for ourselves and others.
And until next time,
Keep exploring,
keep playing.
keep diving deep.